Hello, my name is Zwirbaum and welcome to my Minutes of Hel video about how to get my achievement, which is 30 Minutes of Hell. I will talk about this later, why it's my achievement, but first let's start with what we need to do to get this achievement. For this we need to inflict at least 1,800,000 casualties to Germany, starting as Poland in 1939 bookmark. And now, because ideally it would be the best to do it in 30 minutes, so I'm pretty much rushing and doing all these things as fast as possible, and we want to do this achievement actually in 30 minutes or less. That's the ideal situation. Okay, so what I did is I selected all 64 infantry divisions, or our 64 divisions. I changed the template to standard infantry division, and I decided to move them all near to the Warsaw and Łódź cities. Also, I ordered construction of fortifications around those 4 provinces, as you saw there, just to ease the initial attacks from Germany, because at some point their attacks will be basically destroying the forts completely, and they will not get, they will have no effect during the combat. So, but for the initial attack from the Germany, it may help a little bit to at least ease off the damage that is incoming for our divisions. And next I selected and ordered our fleet to move out of the Baltic Sea, and what we'll be doing right now, Germany declared the war on us, and I decided to release as 3 nations, the Belarus and Ukraine. And I also switched our economy laws to war economy and conscription law to extensive conscription. So in the meantime we joined the Allies, and now I'm trying to first of all separate our submarines once again, and basically order our submarines to just do the convoy raiding in the Mediterranean Sea, to just basically hope that we'll be able to catch any troop convoys from the Axis. And now we have a little bit of time, so I can also talk about our production, because I did very fast at the start of the this video. I ordered the production, and I issued, I think I assigned 3 military factories to support equipment, 2 to anti-air artillery, and the rest went to infantry equipment. Basically, we want to get some anti-air artillery as soon as possible, because the German Air Force will basically be able to wreck our divisions from air, and as such we want to prevent doing so. And now, because all our territory was basically taken away from Germany, I cancelled the divisions that I queued up at the start of this playthrough. Basically, so we banked this manpower, because we will have the use for that such manpower. Okay, and now, so yeah, I talked about our production, so the anti-air artillery, support equipment, and infantry equipment. Now we'll be basically attacked in these positions, and I will try to, as soon as possible, when we'll get the experience, modify our templates. First we will add the anti-air artillery, then we will add engineers company and replace the recon company in our division templates with the engineers, and later on we will modify our division templates by changing it from 10 infantry battalions to 6 cavalry battalions and 4 infantry, so our divisions will qualify as the cavalry divisions. And this will come to how we spent at the start of this playthrough, how we spent our political points, because we hired the army offense expert, the Edward Rycy-Śmigły. We also hired the cavalry and infantry experts, which is the Władysław Anders and Zygmunt Bohusz-Szyszko. I also hired the electronics concern and military furies, and I switched our trade law to free trade. And what we did is basically now we'll probably be mostly rotating our divisions in combat in Warsaw out and into the combat there. And from time to time I will just click and select the actual combat and see which divisions have pretty low organization and they can be rotated out of the combat. And as such we now have selected 11 divisions from the reserve list and I ordered them to withdraw to the province left or west to the Warsaw. Okay, so what is also our research plan? I started by switching our doctrine to superior firepower, even though in theory the Grand Battle Plan has the potential to give us much higher benefits when it comes to defense, because the higher entrenchment bonus. The problem is the higher entrenchment bonus will only, from the doctrine, will be of any use the moment we can actually fully entrench, and that will take some time. And as such, we want actually for our divisions we want to switch to superior firepower, because with constantly rotating our divisions out from the combat and into the combat, they have no time to entrench. And as such, the superior firepower, which is basically constantly, the effect from the doctrine is constantly more active, is much better for our research priority. I also decided to research as fast as possible 2 infantry weapon technologies, and I believe I also used started researching the maintenance company, which allows us to steal the equipment from Germany. And also I want to say that you can kind of say that this playthrough is using the power of the stereotypes, because we'll be playing and using the cavalry, and also we will be stealing the German equipment, which, if you may remember, I believe around 2000, year 2000, there was like this stereotype, and there was like someone joking that come to Poland or to Warsaw, your car is already here. So it was of course referring to that allegedly the Poles were stealing stuff, especially cars. So yeah, so we'll be using this power of the stereotypes for this one. Okay, so I will also say why I decided to release as the free nations, not as puppets, but as the free nations, the Belarus and Ukraine. Basically, it's coming down to the fact that otherwise, usually Hungary will take the southern parts of the Poland, and as such, Soviets will decide to attack the Hungary. If that would come into if it would fall into the hands of Germany, that would be not a problem, because Germany and the Soviet Union have the non-aggression pact, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and as such that would be not a problem. However, because of that, the Soviet Union can attack Hungary, and that would basically mean that those two powers, the Axis and Soviets, would fight against each other. And I actually don't want for them to fight against each other, because I want for Germany to just focus on me and basically to bleed the Germany as fast as possible. And yeah, we also have now the Vilna, which is not reachable by the Axis, so we get the extra civilian factory. And now we got the Vichy event, but hopefully with our fleet helping here, we should be able to easily disrupt any convoys. And here I see that there are 6 troop convoys. You may be a little bit more lucky. Those are German convoys, but they were sunk by the French, I think, submarines. So actually I didn't get any extra casualties, but who knows, maybe in your playthrough, maybe in your attempt, you will be able to actually sink those convoys. Maybe here there was actually maybe some troop convoys that we managed to sink, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, now we'll need to wait a little bit of a time before the Germans will attack us once again. We had some attacks coming a few days ago, and I attached the maintenance companies to our divisions, so whenever we will be attacked by the Germans, we will have, whenever we will win, of course, such engagement, we will get some equipment back from. We'll be able to get some equipment that Germans lost during the attack into our equipment pool. As we can see, we have a big deficit of our equipment. We don't have a lot of anti-air artillery. We have a pretty big lack of infantry equipment, and we also have pretty steep lack of support equipment, which also limits the amount of stuff that we can steal from the Germans. And because of our lack of other equipment, it means that our divisions are not fighting at 100% efficiency. So now our leaders are slowly getting more experience, and we just a few moments ago assigned the infantry expert trait to one of our leaders, and as such our cavalry divisions got extra 15% of attack. Władysław Andres, as we can see, has already the infantry expert trait, the golden infantry helmet. But soon we'll be able to assign there also cavalry traits, I believe. And if not, it will happen a little bit later. So okay, basically all the stuff that will be happening now is me researching more technology and basically just observing the situation, how it goes here. I think at some point I will just stop trying to recapture this land, because as you can see, and you will see in a moment, that basically Germans will stop trying to attack those other positions, and they will just focus on Warsaw. And if they will focus on Warsaw, that will be basically ideal situation for us, because that's the urban territory. We have the bonus to fighting in urban territory from our field marshal and from our generals, so that's all okay. And we also have a couple from the couple provinces that the Germans are attacking there. They will have the penalty from big river, the Vistula. Okay, so that's basically it, and yeah, I can say that a lot of the trick is basically it, just to prepare and have the create the industry of killing the Germans. Basically, that's the specialty of Warsaw at this time. Our infantry equipment deficit is growing. We have at this moment a 7.5k lack of equipment, which is, I believe, we should have around 45,000 of infantry equipment. So yeah, a big percentage of our equipment is actually missing. Now we will have a little bit of time to actually recover here, I think, before the Germans will attack once again, and we continue with more researching more technology. Soon we will get the mobile defense, which is great tech. It will increase the defense of our infantry battalions in our divisions by 20%, and because we will, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be pretty much constantly rotating divisions out and into the combat, and as such that extra defense available on our divisions just from the doctrine effect is great. Now we get one of the worst events that could happen here, but as you will see, it didn't bring that much of a problem for us, because we still managed to defend there no problem. So there are like 3 events that can happen if our stability during war is below 50%. As you can see, our stability at this moment is 34%. And mutiny, as you can see, it reduces our organization recovery rate. 2 very important aspects for our defense, and also reduces our division attack. The experience effect is not that big of a deal. Anyways, so there are 3 events that can happen. There are strikes, mutinies, and draft dodging. Basically, draft dodging and are the less harmful for us at this moment, and strikes are like the middle ground, I would say. The mutinies are actually the worst that can happen, and so we got the mutinies, but I think we'll be able to clear the mutinies after the first attempt. But don't quote me on that, and yeah. So yeah, what we will continue to do here is to basically, as I mentioned, rotate in and out and basically continue to defend the Warsaw. So now I will talk a little bit more about why this achievement, the way I did it, is kinda a little bit more hard on the hard side. Mainly because, as you can see, a lot of the stuff I'm doing here, I am doing constantly unpaused on speed 5, so you need to be very, very confident in what you are doing and know what you are doing. And yeah, because we don't have time to actually like think, like for example consider, okay, maybe we could attack here and do the encirclement this way. We basically need to do it the let's say industrial way and kill as many Germans as possible. So yeah, and now let me tell you why I said at the start of this recording why it's basically my achievement. During the last year, 2018, there was a PDXCon that was from 18th to 20th of May in Stockholm, and during this PDXCon there was a challenge that was basically to inflict as many casualties to Germans in 30 minutes in the 1939 bookmark. And I participated in that challenge and I actually won the challenge. I inflicted the 100, well, not 100, but 800,000 casualties to Germans during a said challenge, and as such I won. And now the achievement is referring to me as the with the number and everything. Fortunately, you are not forced to do it in 30 minutes, and as I said, we'll do it in 30 minutes. Actually, in this video I will beat my own result, and we will deal a little bit more of damage in 30 minutes. So yeah, that feels pretty good on one side. And if, for example, you are like you are not happy about this achievement and the fact that you need to inflict so many casualties, you can basically blame me for being able to manage as many casualties as you can see. Now we are, I think, about the 17-minute mark, and the casualties, I don't remember actually. For a moment you probably saw the casualties that I inflicted, and now I will just continue with further with researching even more technology. So yeah, it's a little bit weird that Germans decided to only focus on the Warsaw, but I'm pretty much happy about this, and now I can finally pick the cavalry expert on our divisions. So yeah, part of the trick here is the fact that the cavalry divisions count both as the cavalry and infantry divisions, and as such they benefit from all divisional level perks, like the advisors and generals and field marshals. Yeah, they benefit from both infantry and cavalry bonus, and as such we will get pretty nice and hefty bonus from all of those. So yeah, that's part of the trick. And sooner or later, I think, yeah, we'll soon start researching the maintenance company level 3, and by the end of this video we will also get now we're still getting a little bit more of the equipment deficit, but it should soon we should start getting pretty good. We should start being able to just steal more equipment that we are losing. So yeah, that's a good thing. Unfortunately, we got the strikes now, and that was pretty close moment because we were pretty very close to being completely deorganized during the Battle of Warsaw, but fortunately I reinforced at the right moment, and we were pretty lucky with our reinforcement roll. But yeah, one of the things that why maybe I should do it a little bit faster, but as I said, it's basically I'm constantly on speed 5 and unpaused. So yeah, and one thing is, as I mentioned, we want to do it as fast in the real time, so we'll do it in about 27 minutes. We'll be able to get these 30 minutes of hell, but also it's good to have it as fast as possible in game terms time. So I don't want to spoil right now when we'll be able to get this achievement, but yeah, it's also on the in-game time pretty nicely. And we managed to steal already 12 artillery pieces from Germans, and I created extra cavalry template, which basically adds the support artillery to our divisions. And now we'll continue researching more technologies, the industrial technology, and yeah, as you can see, we have pretty much every day our infantry equipment deficit basically is getting lower and lower, and even though we are not producing any artillery pieces, we are slowly starting to stockpile it more and more. And as soon as we will, of course, finish researching maintenance company level 3, this will even go even more into the yeah, we'll be able to steal even more equipment, and our stockpile at the end of this video will be looking pretty nicely, and we'll be able to equip quite a number of new divisions with that one. And yeah, so what I'm doing here is just watching over the divisions, over the combat, and monitoring this stockpile situation, and I will be soon converting even more divisions to this new cavalry template that will include the support artillery. And that's also one of the reasons why I decided to pick and go for the route of the superior firepower that's focused on the support units, because we'll get the support artillery, support anti-air units and engineers, and that boost to their organization and soft attack is pretty nice, and as such it will increase our damage potential. So yeah, now we have passed 22 minutes mark, and now I started researching the engineer company. To be honest, engineer company in this situation is not as valuable, to be honest, because it will only increase our attack and breakthrough when attacking over the rivers, and we are not attacking over the rivers for quite some time, and our divisions also cannot fully entrench because they are constantly being attacked by the Germans. As you can see, at this moment we have inflicted 1,100,000 casualties to Germans, so we are only missing 700,000 casualties from our goal, and we will soon be able to inflict the casualties that we need even faster, because we are, as I mentioned previously, we are slowly managing to fill the missing equipment from the production and from what we will steal. As you can see, we have only 7,400 equipment missing, so we already fixed that our deficit by like 2,000 equipment, and as such our divisions will have more equipment, they will have higher soft attack, and because we increase our doctrine and our leaders are also increasing their skill level and getting new traits, we are basically getting stronger and stronger, and as such we are able to deal damage to the Germans faster and faster and faster, and basically kill them even faster. And because we also deal with them faster, that means we are suffering the damage from them slower, and as such we basically get more equipment. The trade-in equipment from is much more favorable to us when we will include the maintenance company. Now we get the event that Soviet Union demands the East, and here we could go into the war with the Soviet Union, or we could decide to just give them land. To be honest, at this point it wouldn't matter, to be honest, but I just didn't want to like potentially risk the fact that the AI could, for example, decide to shuffle all the units or something. And so I decided, okay, I will just give the Vilno to the Soviet Union for now, and yeah, and to be basically sure that the Germans will still try to focus on our divisions here in Warsaw. And yeah, so it may look a little bit boring at this point. We basically are just sitting in one province, just constantly throwing more of our divisions into the constant fight. And as I mentioned previously, you can see that our fortifications are basically not doing anything here, because they are completely damaged and destroyed from all these fights, and we cannot repair the equipment, or the not the equipment but the fortifications there from all this fight here. And as you can see, we inflicted at the start of the July 1.5 million casualties to Germans, and we at the same time suffered 200,000 casualties. So basically 1 to pretty much 8 kill death ratio, slightly below 1.1 to 8, but it will increase over the time. And yeah, and as you can see, it's we are pretty close to getting the achievement, and we still 2 years in game time haven't passed, because the Germans, if I recall correctly, in this playthrough attacked us on 24th of August, so we still have almost a month before we'll get 2 years of the game time. Okay, so we now research, I think, the maintenance company, which, as I mentioned, will allow us to steal even more equipment from, capture, maybe I should say, from the Germans. And now, as you can see, it's start of the August, and it's 1.7 million casualties that we inflicted on the poor Germans. Of course, we also inflicted the casualties on other countries like Slovakia, Vichy France, Hungary, Italy, and others, I think. But yeah, for this achievement, it only counts the German casualties, and we are still not. And yeah, I've paused the game here, and we have 1.8 million casualties. It's basically day before full 2 years have passed since the war started. And here I will try to find the achievement. You could quickly see that there was 30 minutes of hell selected there, but yeah, I will just unpause the game and let the fight continue. Actually, if I would like to beat my previous result, I would not pause here and just would continue with the game unpaused, but for a moment I wanted to just show everything that when it happened at a specific moment, and I will just continue the gameplay to 30-minute mark. And I'm also counting the 30-minute mark from when I started the recording, so it included the single player menu, the loading, and so yeah, basically those 10 seconds at the start are also included. And now you can see the 30 Minutes of Hell completed achievement is located there. And now we still have around 90 seconds before we will end this run. And yeah, we have quite the amount of time for us to have the better result than the last year. And yeah, you might be actually kinda happy that yeah, I only managed to get 1.8 million casualties inflicted to Germans last year. So yeah, slowly we are approaching the end. We continue with doctoring research, and yeah, that's it. We have 2 million casualties and still a little bit of time for us to go. So basically we will get around 1 to 10 kill death ratio, because we will get 2.1 million before the end of the this 30-minute mark, and our casualties are currently at 210,000 dead Polish soldiers. So yeah, 1 to 10 kill death ratio, it's pretty good. And also, as I mentioned, we managed to finish everything here in just less than 2 years. So pretty good result on both the real time and in-game time. And now, as we can see, 30 minutes time mark has passed, and I am showing now the equipment. We have a loads of equipment that we have stolen from the Germans. We could equip at least 8 to 10 probably divisions now, and soon start fielding even more divisions out of this. And that's basically it. I want to wish you all good day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and well, there will be soon more content to come. And yeah, have a nice day, and until next time, farewell.